Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how to create the Star Wars title sequence using Adobe Premiere Pro, really in celebration of the new film, Star Wars The Clone Wars, which is out now, and I thought it was kind of interesting and brought back a few memories for me of the Star Wars films, watching them when I was younger, but I was really impressed with the way they managed to model Anakin Skywalker and actually make him look wooden. So what they must have done is looked at the acting of Anakin and tried to reproduce that, and I think they've done a pretty good job. So congratulations, LucasArts, on that. Anyway, let's get on with the tutorial. So here we are inside of Adobe Premiere Pro, and first thing we want to do is go Title, New Title, Default Still. Give it a name now, so opening will do, and the font we're going to want to use to begin with is going to be Franklin Gothic. So let's get in there and start typing away. So a short while ago in Jita ... and we're going to want to change the color on this to a kind of blue color. So let's go blue, nice bright blue. Yeah, that looks okay. So there we go, short while ago in Jita, and make sure that's centered up nicely, which that is. Okay, let's just drop that down onto track number 1. It should be 5 seconds long as standard. That's about right. We're going to want to fade that out, so let's just do a simple cross dissolve. Whoops. Cross dissolve. That will just dissolve it out at the end there. That's fine. Okay, what we also want to do now is go Title, New Title, Default Still. Let's call this Eve Wars. And click anywhere you want. We'll center it up in a second. So Eve Wars. Now there's a font out there called Star Jedi, which I thought was just about what I was looking for. Where are you, Star Jedi? How many fonts do I have? Star Jedi, Star Jedi, Star Jedi Hollow. There we go. A little bit small, so let's bring the font up to 500. And let's get that just centered up for now, and let's reduce the leading so that the hold down shift and push left if you want to go fast on that. And there we go, that looks good. And once again, center that up. Ooh, that looks good already. Now a little bit of an overlap there, so what you might want to do is increase the tracking just a little bit on there, and go to the color. What a nice bright yellow color. Yeah, that looks good. Eve Wars, maybe get rid of that leading just a little bit so that they're not quite touching. Okay, maybe bring that up a little bit as well. Yeah, so we got these lines here, which that's obviously the middle, so having that text right on that line there, that looks good. Close that down and drop that down onto our timeline. And let's make that about that long. Okay, it's nice. And let's go to our motion, because we want to, let's actually scale that up just a little bit, like so. Punch a keyframe. Actually, come across here and move that keyframe back to the beginning. Go to the end and punch another keyframe for 0. And let's actually make that a bit of a smooth ease out on there, and grab that so that it doesn't look silly when the text accelerates into the background. It sort of slowly eases into its disappearing act. And let's also get a fast blur on there so it blurs out at the end. So fast blur, drop that down. And let's start blurring out round about there. Punch a keyframe, move forward to the end, and put it up to say 100. That should be fine. See, it blurs out there. Oh, That looks good. And now we want another title, so new title, default still. Let's call this scroll. Obviously we're going to want to change the text, but we'll do that in a second. So let's change that back to Franklin Gothic. The thing I always find interesting is that when it comes to any Adobe applications, there's about 15 ways of doing exactly the same thing. So pick your own way, whatever works good for you. So episode I or 1, and let's say Revenge of the Noob, and get that centered up nicely. Already looking good. Now let's move this up the page. What you want to do is hold down Shift, then drag upwards, if it will let me. There you go. That looks good. And we want to grab our area type tool. This will be the main sort of text, if you like, and try and get it so that it's not taking up all of the screen, because we're going to be changing the angle of this. If this is too wide, it will be halfway up the screen before anyone can actually read what is the first character or the last character. So you have to make sure it's not too wide. If it gets a little bit too wide, just resize the box. But let's put some text in here. It was a time of noobs. They are everywhere, and the pirates are trying to push them back into low security systems. Epic fail. Whoops. Epic fails, and lols, blah blah blah. You get the idea. Pick your own text, guys, but let's get that centered up, and obviously bring that down just a little bit so that that's yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. And let's close that down and drop that down onto the timeline, and let's extend the length of that to say 45 seconds. I mean, whatever works good for you, but one thing you want to do is go to your roll and crawl options, and you want it to roll, start off the screen, end off the screen, say OK, and that will then go nice and slowly, and obviously play that back in real time. Oh, that looks good. And then what we want to do is go to your video effects, go down to perspective, basic 3D, drop that down onto your text, twirl down and go to tilt and say -70, and then this figure I'm going to give you here will depend on the size of the footage and the size of the actual video file you're doing, but just simply line it up so that the text meets the bottom of the screen. You can see there's a sort of gap there. You want to basically eliminate that gap. So in this case it's 35. You know, it really, like I say, does depend on how big the actual video file is going to be in terms of the resolution and the angle you've gone for. Obviously I've gone for a really wide screen look to this, but that's absolutely fine. But there you go. Let's see what we're looking at now. So a short while ago in Jita, this already looks funny. Eve Wars comes into the screen. That looks fun. And that will scroll out into the background. And what we might want to do actually is take our scroll text and overlap that slightly, so that when that starts to disappear, this comes in. You see? So that should be good. It comes in, and that starts to appear on the screen. Don't worry about the quality of that. That's just a replay. Revenge of the Noobs. It was a time of noobs. They are everywhere, and the pirates are trying to push them back. Oh, it's just too funny. So really, with all that done, all we have to do now is just add some music. And fortunately, I purchased a CD some time ago and had it in my collection. And let's have a look and see whether this all works together. Yeah, I think that works. So there you are, a very short, very fun tutorial, and just really shows you how to create what I think is probably one of the best opening title sequences you could have. But have fun, play with all of the settings as normal, but I think once you get everything the way you want it, may the force be with you.